Hello, friends. Welcome to the Cold War Prepper. This is Lee, and welcome to the Tuesday Night Book Club. Here it is, 8 o'clock Central in time in the U.S. Who's your prepping nurse? Welcome. Little Lone Prepper, welcome. So we're continuing on tonight with chapters 3 and 4, and they're relatively short in this book, Decline and Decay. We're talking primarily about everyday carry, or EDC, and then we're going to talk about shelter. I as excited as I was about how great the chapters 1 and 2 were, I'm really disappointed in chapters 2 and 3, or 3 and 4. So, I mean, that puts us back to a normal everyday or nonfiction book type thing, where it's okay. I just feel that they're really, really lacking in both chapters 3 and 4 in that discussion. Now, and I understand where they're coming from, but gosh, I wish there was a little bit more. So I'm going to kind of wing it a little bit in comparison to the book. Hey, Jay Critcher. No, we're talking about different chapters. And so this is the nonfiction. And so each chapter is kind of independent. And tonight we're talking about two chapters, chapter 3, EDC, or everyday carry, and chapter 4, which is shelter. So let me get over to my banners I've created. Hello, Tofu and Dove Season. How are you? So we are in, come on, cooperate with me here. No, I didn't want to trash that. Dadgummit. That was a great quote. Okay, there we go. So we're doing, that's the name of the book. We're doing chapter 3, EDC. I deleted the quote that I wanted to give you, so I'll have to read it out of the book. And it's just kind of, he defines everyday carry as you must satisfy the answers of water, shelter, fire, food procurement, signaling, navigation, medical, and personal security. So the quote that I wanted to read to you was, the smaller the item, the smaller the kit. The smaller the kit, the more likely it is that you will actually carry it on your person daily. And I agree. Nobody wants to carry a whole bunch of weight or bulky things, and that just kind of gets difficult for you in your everyday carry. So kind of we can subdivide everyday carry into two major what you might call methods of carry. So we can define part of it as, what do you have on your body on an ongoing basis that you can use in a survival situation. Hello, Scott. Welcome. So for that, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of show you a dump of what I would typically have on me on a daily basis, and explain that just a little bit. So let's start off with emptying my pocket. And in this pocket, I have two things. Number one, I have my MI challenge coin. So in the military, you're issued a coin basically for the unit or the specialty that you're in. And then if you come across somebody else and you challenge them and they don't have their coin with them, they have to buy you a drink. So that's kind of what this challenge coin. And then I carry a Buck Revell, and this is my everyday knife that I use. Then in my now I try to keep my right pocket as free of stuff as possible. So that's all I carry in my right pocket. And the reason is because I had that hip replacement. And so that's still kind of tender in that area. And I don't want to bulk it up with a whole bunch of things and kind of take me down in my mobility. So in my left pocket, I typically carry a Schrade, and this is a little bit bigger, and this is going to be my number one knife that I would use. I've never used it for anything, so it should cut through whatever it needs to cut through fairly quickly. Then I keep my money clip with all my bills. They're all pointed in the same direction. The ones are on top. I very seldom carry anything larger than a 20. I just think that in an SHTF environment, if you have large bills, 50s or 100s, and you want to buy something and they don't have change, you're giving money away. So I try to keep everything in my wallet is less than a 20. Then I have my rosary packet. And so I have my rosary, I have my St. Benedict medal, and then and some other small tokens in there. I have my rescue inhaler for my asthma, and then a monkey's fist. So this is basically a steel ball that's wrapped around with cordage, and it'll crush your skull. Think of it as being the same thing as the old Morning Star or a mace back in the Middle Ages. I wear a watch on my left arm, and then we can go to my keys. So for my keys, I have this night eyes type thing, so I can break any one element of my keychain off at any one time and use that. So I have my access to the gym. We belong to our recreation center from our community, and so that gives us, these are the access keys. Key to my wife's car, key to my pickup, all the other keys that we need. So this is my gun cabinet, the house, my safe, and then our mailbox. Oh no, that was the mailbox. This is the gun cabinet. And so that's pretty much it, except I do have an Olight flashlight that I keep on my key ring. Sometimes we will stay out later than we anticipated, and we don't have the porch light on, and so I need that so I can find the hole to put the house key in and get it taken care of. On the belt, I have an SOG. What do you call these? Multi-tool. Yeah, multi-tool. So that's just, and the reason is because this came when I bought so what happened was I started building my bug out bag back in the 1980s. And, when you're building a bug out bag, you're constantly upgrading and constantly changing things out. And, you want this, you want that, and you haven't thought about this. And hello, tofu. And so, you just constantly change it. And back in 2015-ish, it was stolen out of my car. So I wanted something really quick. So I ordered an Echo Sigma pre-made bag, and it came with the SOG multi-tool. So that's what I carry. I had never purchased a big multi-tool prior to that. So, the Wingman or Leatherman or anything like that, I just hadn't spent the money on it. Then I'm doing this as across the side nowadays. So this goes on the left side instead of the right side because of my hip. And then I've got extra, this to go with it. So that gives me a total of 16. And that's kind of where that is. Now, everything else I have, I basically carry in what I call an everyday carry bag. And so mine is, so that I can be gray man, mine is a bank bag from from our local bank here in Austin. And, then I carry certain things inside of it. Some of the things that you might be most interested in. So flashlights. I used to carry Nebos, and so this is my Nebo CSI, and it's got 3 modes. Let me see. There we go. It's got the bright, and then it's got the. Let me see if I can do this. We'll do it this way. So it's got the bright. It's got the half lumens, and then it's got the strobe light, and it's got the red laser. What I don't like about this is one of my favorite flashlights ever. And it's base rechargeable, magnetic rechargeable, just a great lithium ion battery. It's just a phenomenal flashlight. We have one of these in almost every room in the house. I had it in my bug out bag, my everyday carry bag. What I don't like about it is there's no clip. There's nothing to put on it. So I recently had a bad experience with my Nebo. What's it called? I forget what I think it's Nebo Slim. And you push the button and it just won't come on. And I can't get my money back, and they won't trade it. So I'm looking for alternatives. The other one I carry the Nebo torch. So this is just a very small one. What I do like about it, it's got this brim attachment here, so I can put it on my hat or on my cap, and I always wear my ASA cap, but I can put this on my cap, and then I have a flashlight that wherever I'm looking, that's going to be there. So this also has the magnetic recharging lithium-ion battery. This is another Nebo product. Love it. And I probably have about 3 of those. So what I said was, and then on my bag, right here on the edge, I do have one clipped one, and this is the Nebo Inspector. And so, it's just got 2 settings, and then it's got a bright, a dim, and then a strobe light. And that's it for this one. But this is a AAA battery. So I'm trying to get away from AAA batteries as much as possible for anything I have in my system. Wow. Let me see here. Yes, well, that's why I carry this everyday carry bag, if you will, because I carry so much stuff with me. So let me see. The Monkey Fist. I got the Monkey Fist on eBay, and just look for Monkey Fist keyring, and you want the 1-inch steel ball when you find it. I have a couple tack lights, and I haven't even opened them up yet. I think I've had them for probably 5 or 10 years, and so I'm sorry to hear that, Jay Creature. But I did recently buy an O-light. So that's the O-light is what I carry on my keyring. And so I bought this one, and this was I got it on 50% off sale, but it's really neat. It's got the different settings. So it's got bright, brighter, and then strobe. And then it also has but this one's a green laser. Let me see if I can do it. There we go. So this one's got a green laser. My wife likes it because she likes having a flashlight with the laser, because she thinks that if you while I'm talking to somebody, if she could point it at their forehead, it might scare them. But I did a review here recently on the O-light that I bought to put under my my holstered, not my concealed, but my regular exposed weapon. And that's an O-light as well. Yes, I do have the Battery Buddy. I love it. But I'm hoping it goes extinct. I also have the battery rechargers with my solar system, that I carry in my EDC, and I'm sorry, I carry in my Get Home bag. And I'm hoping to replace everything with either USB or these magnetic base rechargers, so that I don't have to worry about carrying a whole bunch of batteries. Okay, so that's kind of everything there. I don't think I have anything else that's on my pockets or anything. Oh, my wallet. I don't have my wallet. Where is my wallet? One thing I do carry in my wallet, and it looks like a normal card, is I do carry 1 gram of gold. So this is about 1/30th of an ounce. So it's probably about $50-$60 cash value right now. So I do carry the 1 gram of gold in my wallet. So let me kind of show you some of the things I do in my EDC bag that I carry with me everywhere I go. And tomorrow we have our meeting, and so people will probably want to see it again at the meeting. This is my IFAK, my individual first aid kit. I've expanded it a little bit bigger. I got it from Echo Sigma as well. I'm not an affiliate with them. If you do anything with them, I don't get anything with it. I just, want to help you with that. So on the outside, I have my shears, I have my bandage scissors, and I also have another pupillary flashlight. And so it's got the pupil dilation sizes on it, so I can do a comparison. Then up top, where what I've done is I've replaced my tourniquet up top with an Israeli pressure bandage. And so what I found is I have had a need for the pressure bandage, far more often. And I drove ambulances for a while. So I have used pressure bandages far more regularly than I ever have a tourniquet. So I'd like to keep my pressure bandage right here up on top, right where I can get to it. That's going to be the first thing I'm going to grab. The other contents on the inside, pretty much standard with everything that you get with any kind of an IFAC. But that's I keep this in my everyday carry bag. And then I bought this Maxpedition Max Pack, and this is kind of what's in my bag. And in it, I have a small compass, and this is on the outside, and then a pen and a pencil. And then when you open it up, and this is going to fall apart like you would not believe. This probably weighs 2 pounds. Okay. So in here, I have a K-Bar dozer pocket knife. I have let me just hold this up and kind of show it that way. I have let's pour this stuff out. Yeah, there we go. Then I have this glass breaking pen, another pen. This is a K-Bar pry bar, miniature pry bar. I have another inhaler. I have a flashlight. I have a Bic lighter with a fire cord. Another small Nebo flashlight. This is another one of these, and 2 more Bic flashlights. A whole bunch of wintergreen lifesavers. I have an emergency poncho, a Silcock key, and then a P38 and a P51. Some hand sanitizer, an emergency whistle, and a small razor blade, so package opener. I want to explain this one. So I kind of have a couple. So I have the Bic, and I have the Bic, and then I have this Bic. I try to leave them in the package whenever possible. That way, you don't depress the thing, and when you don't depress that, you don't lose your gas. This is the one I'm happiest with in the entire kit. So this is another USB rechargeable, and it's got 2 things on it. So number one, it's got the normal flashlight, it's got the full up mode, the half mode, and then it's got the flashing. And I think that's just pretty neat because it's USB rechargeable. But on the ends, when you flip it open, so inside now you have an electric arc lighter. So, that'll never go dry. That'll just, you just recharge it with your solar charging system or your USB charging system, and it's good to go. So that's kind of what I have in my Maxpedition pack. I have in my bag a Geiger counter, a hand crank radio, and you'd probably be very interested in that. So here's my Geiger counter. So, and I keep that in there. 2 pairs of gloves, mechanics, and then the other one, a knife, a big knife. This is my K-Bar knife. And let's see, I want to show you these. Oh, I keep these in here because we're just not used to the cold here in Central Texas. So these are just rip open hand warmers. They're about $1 at Walmart, but that's something you might want to consider throwing into your bag. Then I don't carry this in my bag, but this is in chapter 4. It talks about shelter. So I just wanted to throw in the fact that there are tube tents and sleeping and emergency sleeping bags that you can get that can be lifesavers, and they're going to cost you less than $10 each, and it's a very good investment. So let's see where we are in the comments. Okay. Headlamp. I love headlamps. Where is my headlamp? Oh my gosh. Oh, that's another thing that I might want to share with you all. Oh, there's my headlamp. I haven't even opened it. Just keep it in the bag. Um, my religion bag, and so it's got a rosary. It's got a whole bunch of MRE components to it. And it's got Bishop Fulton Sheen's prayer book. Um, One of the things for a lot of the smaller stuff that I keep in my bag, I keep it in a kid's pencil box. So this has been very good for me. So this has got a lot of rechargers and some electrical tape and some masking tape and some note cards and some sticky notes, so I can stick things and leave notes and messages as I go places or whatever. Um, the one I wanted to show you though is here it is. I don't keep this in my on my person. I don't keep it in my bag. I created this a year ago, probably next week, and so there's one of these for each person in both the pickup and in the car. So this is my nuclear environmental protection kit. So what I have is I have booties, painter's booties. So we're going to cover our feet so that we don't get any kind of fallout directly on our shoes, and we can remove those before we come into the house. I've got an emergency poncho. We're going to put that on, keep the fallout off of our body. It doesn't protect you against radiation. All it does is it's going to keep the fallout from coming in contact with your body so that you can take this off when you get home in your backyard or whatever, and keep all the fallout dust off of coming inside your home. So I keep this poncho. I keep a triangular bandage so that I can tie the poncho down over my head. Then I have a pair of real good sealing glasses so that I don't have any dust coming into my eyes. I have an N95 mask, and then I have some nitrile gloves. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to keep as much of the radioactive dust from coming into contact with my body as possible. And so each bag represents one person. So this is a one-person emergency protective kit. I keep 4 of these in the car, and I keep 2 of these in my pickup. So, that's just an idea you might want to consider. I did a video on that about a year ago when I first started doing YouTube videos. So, let me see. Yes, absolutely, and same thing. Rechargeable batteries are the way to go. That's absolutely the way to go. So yes, I do have Sharpies. That was in that in my uh, in here, and I have 2 different colors. I have red and black, and I like the wide tips for leaving notes. Typically, I'm going to use a narrow tip in the house. Pressure bandages work. Yes. Hello Tofu says she loves her Sharpies. Yes, absolutely. And a while back, I was working in the garage in my other house, and I scraped my leg against something. I don't know what it was, and so I was working at Dell at the time, and I was in a meeting, and I kept going to the Coke machine and buying Cokes, canned Cokes, and putting them on it because it was getting so hot and swollen. I went to the emergency room, and they drew around the swelling area with a Sharpie equivalent, and gave me the most painful shot injection I have ever had in my life. It was called Rocephin, and it hurts so much that they mix it with lidocaine, trying to deaden the amount of pain when they give it to you. And he says, "Okay, go home and come back tomorrow, and we'll see what happens." And so I went back the next day, and the swelling was down. They gave me another Rocephin. It knocked me out. I mean, it hurt so bad that I passed out. And they told me that with the Rocephin injection, had that infection gotten larger, they would have had to have amputated my leg because Rocephin's the absolute hardest knocking antibiotic that they have. Okay, why a P38 and a P51? instead of two of one kind. The P38, let me see where that's in here. So the P38 is smaller than the P51. The P38 is typically what we used for our ration cans in sea rations in the Vietnam era. And then the P51 is used primarily for number 10 cans. So let me get these out and show you the difference in the size. Now you can use the P51 on, so this is the one that typically the P38 that we would typically wear around with our dog tags. But this kind of wears out over time and a blade sticks out and you stab yourself. So, mine on my dog tags, I had a piece of electrical tape around it. And then comparative size, this is the P51. So that's the difference in size. I just keep one of each. I don't know. Could probably save an ounce or two if I didn't carry both of them. But I'm hoping most of the cans nowadays, I'm probably not going to need either one because they have the pull-off tops. So, that's kind of where that is. Oh, wow. Great tip. Thank you. Yeah, so the half size. That would be great. Let me see if I can get down here. New comments. So Dove Season 91. And yeah, I was scared to death. And I was supposed to go with my family up to my mother-in-law's, which is about 2 hours due north of here. And I ended up staying home that weekend and never really told them how dangerous it got. So, and the number 10 cans, what I'm going to recommend is you get a big crank opener. And so I have a whole bunch of number 10 cans from the LDS. Those are hard to open. So you do need a big cranker to get those things open. I thought I saw you on here earlier, Dragon Slayer. Oh no, that was you and I were commenting on a comment you made about one of the videos. That's what it was. Yeah, that's so those are military can openers. So, and one thing about the old sea rations, the canned sea rations, was they had there were 12 meals, and they had the meal number up on top, and so you could see what it was and grab it. And I hated the eggs chopped with ham, but beanie weenies were okay. The spaghetti was okay. There were a couple of them that were okay. A couple of them that were terrible. But I preferred the tuna. And so the tuna was a slightly different color box. The first sergeant would turn the case upside down so nobody could see the labels. But I could tell the difference in the colors and grab the tuna. So I lived off of tuna for 2 meals a day for almost a year. But that was kind of terrible tasting. So that's kind of basically where I wanted to show you this evening as far as shelter. So what they're talking about with the shelter is they're talking about in the book, they have a walkthrough of, you have the shelter of your sheets and blankets when you get out of bed. Then you go in and you put on your warm clothing. And so that's another form of shelter. You're inside a heated house. And so they just went through this almost 3 or 4 pages of a daily routine explaining all the different kinds of shelters that are available to you. I would have preferred that they would have talked about layering of clothing, windproofing of clothing, having some sort of protection. Your feet, your head, and your hands are the areas that are going. Your head especially is going to be the area where you're going to lose heat or you're going to lose cooling, and that's what you want to protect. And you want to make sure you stay well hydrated too. One of the things that I don't have here in the bag is I don't have my water bottle. And so typically what I do is I will carry a water bottle about like this, a 1 liter bottle, and I have a night ice clip. And so with that night ice clip, it fits around the top of the bottle, and then it fits to a D-ring that you can hang on your belt. And so that's what I would keep in the office, so that if I had to run, I could fill it up at the water cooler and I would have water to take with me. Or if I bought a bottle of water, I could slip that ring around it, and that made it into basically a drinking water. The one thing I don't have in all of my EDC stuff, I do have it in my get home bag, but not in my EDC. I don't have a means to purify water. Now I could put like something like a Seychelles or water bottle in my everyday carry. I could put in a life straw or something like that, but I don't have them in there. I very seldom anymore go further than maybe 12 miles away from the house. And, probably the farthest I drive is for my Tuesday morning prayer group. Uh, and that's in a different town. So that's 12 miles one direction this morning. And then, so, I mean, it used to be that I had a lot more stuff with me all the time when I worked 2 cities away, and where I owned a store and was working there. But, I don't have fire making. I don't have water purification. I'm sorry, I do have fire making. I don't have cooking, is what I meant to say. So I don't have a pot or cook kit or anything like that. So my MREs that I chose are basically crackers and, stuff that doesn't matter if it gets hot. It's like chocolates and stuff like that, high protein things that are going to get me home. Unfortunately, the crackers are saltless, which is great because I don't have anything with water in it. So, that's it. So play with the Mylar blanket ahead of time. Condensation is yes. Yes, it is. And so one of the things you don't want to wrap yourself up too tightly. You do want to leave room for evaporation. You also want to leave a little bit of room for that condensation to evaporate away. The more you wrap yourself up like a burrito, the worse it's going to get. You need to have some air in there. You're looking for that air pocket to be heated to close to body temperature. That's what you really want to do. The Mylar blanket itself reflects back, they say 95% of body heat. So, it's not meant for a long-term solution. So it's only meant for a short-term solution. So, if it reflects back 95% of your heat, then, that's going to be an ever lowering scale, because you start out at 98.6, then it reflects back 95. That takes you back to 96. Then it reflects back 95. That's going to take you to 94. So you see, you're going to go down in warmth over time. And so you just want to be cautious about that. You want to have another means of warming as well. That's why I have those instant pocket hand warmers. Hello, Butch Grace. Let me see. Wow, yes. And yeah, and so that would be important, especially if you're going off road or camping or hiking or something like that in a non normal hiking path or foraging path or something like that. I think that could be critical. That's what we did in the Boy Scouts. We had flagging tape, and so when we went up anywhere that was off river, we would use flagging tape. But we tried to stick to the rivers. Now, where it got kind of tricky was Region 10 canoe base up in Minnesota. And so we were carrying canoes. We portage from one waterway to overland to another waterway. And that's when we had to use those stickers to make sure that we were staying where we needed to be. Seychelles water bottles. So it's a French company, and it's the only company that I am aware of that actually has radiation filters on the bottle, and that's what I have. So, I have 3 bottles. I have 2 of them have the advanced, so they have the standard, advanced, and radiation filters. So two of mine have the advanced filters, and those will take out protozoa and viruses. And whereas the normal one won't take out protozoa and virus, but they will take out bacteria, and they will take out most of the heavy chemicals, heavy metals, and things like that. So that's the cheaper of the three. Then you have the advanced, which is a little bit more expensive, and that'll take out all the viruses and protozoa. Then the absolute most expensive of the three is the radiation, and it removes carbon, calcium, no carbon, cesium. Some of the more common uh, radioactive materials. I started thinking about it. I have Seychelles. I have a holster for my Seychelles bottle, and it would hang on my waist. And that's what I used to have in my everyday carry bag. And then I started thinking about it, and I thought, I'm picking up some water that may possibly be radioactive contaminated, and I'm putting it into a bottle. So I'm carrying radioactive material on my hip, real close to my body. And then as I drink it, I'm removing, because it's one of those gravity where you have to hold it up and suck through the filter in order to filter it out. So as I'm getting that water through that filter, I'm concentrating all that radioactivity into that filter. And so I'm just adding more water, adding more radioactivity, filtering it, adding more concentration of that radioactivity in the filter. And I said, you know what? This may not be the best idea for me to carry around my hip in a post-apocalyptic world. So I did a lot of research on it, on removing radioactive contaminants from water. And what I found out is that water itself cannot become radioactive. Water becomes radioactive by the solids that are dissolved in it. So think of salt becoming radioactive, and then you put that in water, and the salt in the water is what is radioactive, not the water itself. So you can remove that with any kind of a good filtration system, or a sediment system. You can also remove it through distillation. So there are a lot of ways you can remove radioactivity from water. And so maybe carrying radioactivity in a filter on your waist is not the best way to go. So I no longer carry my radioactive filter for Seychelles. Yes, and so that's one of the reasons why I still have a whole bunch of not cone filters, but the big coffee pot filters. I bought a couple thousand of those from Sam's. Anytime you can pre-filter before it goes through the normal filter, you're going to extend the lifespan of whatever filter you're using. Same thing, if you use a life straw, okay, and you're going to get down and suck that straw close to the contaminated water, get yourself a rubber band and a coffee filter, put it over the intake inlet for your life straw, and that way you're going to extend the overall life of that life straw, because you're getting some contaminants out before they actually hit the filter. Masking tape is fantastic. I should have some. I don't. You're absolutely correct. Hello Tofu, that is a fantastic thing to have, because it's not, the main reason I like it so much is because even though it is tacky and you can get it to stick to almost anything, you can write on it, especially if you have your Sharpies. So, Sharpie on masking tape leaves fantastic messages to other people who are trying to find you, or you're trying to find them. Uh-oh, so what did I miss? You just saw something from Little Lone Prepper. Oh, okay. Let me see here what we can catch up with. And gosh, you guys are coming up with some great ideas. Plastic ribbon that you can tear off and tie around the branches. That's another good one. You can also just use cloth. So, tear strips of cloth and tie it around branches and everything else. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Hello Tofu. And yes, there is the combination advanced and radioactive. So now the way I got into Seychelles, believe it or not, was about 50. I don't even know if they saw. I haven't seen them recently, but the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, their Provident Living Center, which is where you get all the number 10 cans of dehydrated and freeze-dried emergency food, and it's the best price on the market. If you check and see if there's an LDS Provident Living Center near you, and you're going to find out that is some of the best stuff you can get for the price that there is. They used to sell the Seychelles water bottles and filters at cost. So, I mean, the church had maybe a 1 or 2% handling fee to over what the basic wholesale cost of the bottle was. So I got all of my Seychelles stuff through the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints maybe 15, 20 years ago when they were selling them at their Provident Living Centers. They have a new water water purification system now. I saw it. I don't remember really what it was. You can order the new one that they're carrying on their website. And if you want to order number 10 cans of food on their website, be aware you have to order a case at a time. And there's also shipping costs. Whereas if you drive to your local LDS Provident Living Center, like I've been for the last 20 years, I pick up a case a month. And that case might be 1 can of pinto beans, 1 can of sugar, 1 can of flour. So with the pinto beans and the flour, I figure I can always make bean burritos, a can of diced onions, a can of apples, and a can of spaghetti bites. So spaghetti bites, what they are, they just take a spaghetti and cut it down into maybe 2-inch lengths, and so that they can fit a whole bunch into the can. But they're not necessarily the same length, but it is just regular spaghetti in the can. And then they got macaroni, they got white beans, they've got flour, quick oats, instant oats, regular rolled oats. I mean, they've probably about 20 different products that you can get that'll really help you with inexpensively for your long-term storage. Gosh, there's a lot of comments that I need to catch up on. Okay. Hey, Roaming Prepper, that was a great live that you had this evening. Really enjoyed it. Hadn't thought of connecting the dots the way you were, so that leads for some very interesting questions. So, for those of you who weren't on the Roaming Preppers live earlier this evening, he did a fantastic display of connecting dots and the patterns that he sees in both the balloons as well as the train derailments and train fires and things like that. Really interesting analysis, really good. He and I will have a conversation, and it causes us to go on a tangent, and we will look for things for days to find out, what's up. I'm trying to maneuver this system. I guess I need to get my mouse because using the touchpad is not working. Okay. Come on, mouse, hook up. There we go. Oh yeah. See, now I can see all these. That's great. Okay. Use your Catadin UV in Mexico for a week. It was great. Yes, absolutely. And so, and the good thing about UV is that it does kill the protozoa and bacteria. Now, it doesn't take care of heavy metals or any other contaminants, but it does do a very good job of protozoa and bacteria. Okay. Let's see what we got here. How are my dogs? My dogs are fantastic. We trimmed their toenails yesterday, and so they're doing pretty good. I think the oldest one, the 14-year-old black teacup long hair Chihuahua, is coming down with arthritis. She's walking a little strange for the past couple of days, and so I'm gonna have to get her and see if I can't get her some arthritis medication. Okay, so I have to get up early tomorrow morning too. So I missed the first portion of your thing because every day at 3 o'clock we do the Chaplet of Divine Mercy, and that's the prayers because that's when Jesus died on the cross was at 3 o'clock. So we try to emulate that through prayer. And then I also do Psalms 115 through 118, which is called the Halal, and that's if you read in Matthew 6 or no, where is it? Matthew, I forget. In Matthew, it talks that Jesus was singing the Psalms as he was walking to the Garden of Gethsemane, and so we believe he was probably singing the Halal, which are Psalms 115 through 118. So that's at the same time. So then I do that. Then at 4 o'clock we do the Rosary every day, and that takes 25 minutes. A group of us, and so that ends at 4:25. So that's why I was late to your live today. But tomorrow morning is Ash Wednesday, and I want to be one of the first people there. And so I'm going to be there for 6:30 Mass tomorrow morning because I got our prepper group meets at noon tomorrow, and just tomorrow's a whole bunch of stuff going on. So I won't be able to go to the 11:30 or 12:30 Mass or the 5:30 Mass. So I got to get up and get there at 6:30 tomorrow morning. Yeah, they got to be 3 to 5 year olds. I know how that goes. I've got a 3-year-old grandson and a 5-year-old grandson, and that's exactly what they would do to each other. Oh, wow, that's mean, unless it's true. And that's a good one. I probably need to add something as far as one of those little condensed things of toilet paper that we get from the MREs and C rations into my into my EDC. That's a very good idea. Thank you, Romy Pete. Appreciate that. Or that was Tofu that said that. LG. Okay. So, and we have a saying here in Texas, at least in Central Texas, says, sneeze once, you love somebody. Sneeze twice, somebody loves you. Sneeze 3 times, welcome to Central Texas. I have a really good allergist I'd like to recommend. Yeah, and a lot of times what I end up quoting to people is one data point does not a trend make, because a lot of people will take one data point and then try to build that into a conspiracy theory or a theory of things and expound on that without any other data. And one data point does not a trend make. So you need a little bit more than just one example to have something like that. Look at that. Roaming Prepper saying exactly what I was saying. All right. Uh, let me see. Izzy, Addie, or yeah, Izzy's right over there. Just one second. She's the oldest. She's the oldest. She's the black long hair. They would like to see what you look like, sweetheart. Okay, let's get that out of your face. Can you stand up here on the table? So this is Isabella. She's the smallest and the oldest of the 3. And she's 14 years old, long-haired teacup. So say hi to everybody, sweetheart. Okay, let's go back to your bed. I'm surprised because Annie, one of the Goldens, if I get anywhere close to Izzy or her sister Addie, gets extremely jealous. And so she will normally try to push the other one out of my lap. And she didn't come in and kick anybody out of my lap. So I'm very lucky. But Helen just came in, and so the two golden chihuahuas came in with her. Yeah, they love peanut butter. Are you talking about the one with Roaming Prepper earlier today? Yeah, that was a fantastic video. As a matter of fact, Pete, if gosh, what I'll do is I'll try to put a link to it in the comments in the about. So yes, and that's a big fear is getting caught away from home. And so when we bought it ended up being they wanted to sell you a resort package, but they had this thing at Bass Pro that for $100 you could have 4-day vacation anywhere you wanted. So we went to Branson for my wife's birthday back in October. And half the trunk was my prepping stuff because I was afraid of being that far away from home in October, just a little while ago. I love Alexandra the Great. Yes, I will have to check that out. 4-ingredient artisan bread. Oh, that sounds good. Huh. That would be great. I'll have to check into that. Thank you. I'm learning all kinds of stuff from you guys tonight. Yeah, I don't see the other two went back in the bedroom with Helen. Helen goes into the bedroom to watch the TV in there while I'm doing a live because I'm in the dining room and the TV for the living room is just about 12 feet off to my right. Used to be when we had our old house that I had a totally separate office, and but we decided to downsize. Okay, so I think I'm caught up with all the comments, and I think that we've pretty much beat a dead horse as far as EDC and shelter. Does anybody have anything they would like to add as far as EDC or shelter? Don't say whose name. Are you talking about saying the names of one of the dogs? Yeah, if I were to yell, "Come here, Izzy," right now, I would probably get in Annie instead of Izzy because she does not like me loving on the other dogs. Izzy, come here. Isabella.
Addie's coming.
Pretty little girl.
She's eating.
Come here. Oh, nope. I've got Addie. Addie's the one that's down here, but she's coming for food in the food bowl. So, okay. Oh yeah. No, it's not my wife. It's my daughter. My daughter doesn't want her name or her children's names or anything else. She doesn't like being affiliated with me at all. I had a totally different system, and it was very modular. And for those of you, he's back again. One of the very first channels that I watched was, oh gosh, what's his name? I think it starts with a G. The Urban Prepper. really phenomenal guy. And this guy is obsessive compulsive about organization. And he had the best modular kits that anybody I have ever seen. And he's taken about a year or two hiatus away from YouTube, but he's back again. And but he had the best modular system there was. And that's how I did my suitcases with all of my EDC. The unfortunate thing was the vast majority of my EDC, with the exception of flashlight, a boo-boo kit, and things like that, what I kept in my briefcase, were actually in checked baggage. Because I did not like when I got on, if I couldn't fit it up top, then I would have to put it under the seat in front of me. And I'm 6'1", and those seats are designed for people who are 3'2". And so, I needed that foot space. So I always checked my luggage. Um, uh, wow. Wow. I'm sorry that happened to you. Yeah. Um, yeah. So one of the things that I do have is, we've got the whole house solar system. So here in Texas, we don't make houses the way we used to back in the 50s and 60s. And back in the 50s and 60s, we had screen doors, we had screens on all the windows. You could open up the windows and get a flow through, and you could open the doors and get a flow through, and you wouldn't have any insects or anything coming in. Nowadays, with central air conditioning, we don't have screen doors anymore, and there's very few of the windows that open and actually allow air in through a screen. And so I don't know what we're going to do for ventilation and cooling in another hot summer without electricity. So I bought a whole bunch of the small, you know, very low voltage fans, personal fans, and we'll set them all over the house and try to get a vortex going or something. I don't know. But, and some windows have screens on them. We'll try to keep those open. But it's going to be, without electricity in the summer here in Texas, it's going to be atrocious. And even Pete's out there in West Texas, and that's where I'm originally from, in high desert mountain, and it can get it's terrible how different the temperatures can be. You can actually cook an egg on the sidewalk during the daytime and freeze to death at nighttime, and so you will have temperature variances of 110, 112 degrees in the daytime, and then down into the 50s and 40s at nighttime. So, just kind of how do you prepare for Texas is kind of something else. Um, yes, same thing here. And so any charging you're going to do, any flames that you're going to have, candles or the Vesta heat or anything like that, Vesta fire heat, you want to be around when it's being charged or when it's or when it's being lit. So you don't have the same problems with aircraft seats than I do, huh? So one of the things that I do too is I have these little metallic silver pins, and so I write on the bottom. That one doesn't have it. Tell you that, and then I find an exception. So I put what what it's supposed to go to uh, on the bottom so that I can reach up and grab the right magazine for the right weapon. I guess I haven't done it for this one because that's the one I keep in there all the time. But all of my different magazines, so you can tell the difference between which rifle it goes into or which pistol it goes into, and that's all marked. I got the base of almost everyone except for this one. Well, then that's got the manufacturer's name on it, so you can tell what it is. But you should be able to identify all of your magazines from the bottom as well. Okay, Stray Kitten, welcome to the club. I think confused is a permanent state that you get awarded on your 60th birthday, and that was a long time ago for me. So, okay, anything else that we want to talk about this evening before we hang it up here? So where are we? Let me check the time here. We are at 9 o'clock. Oh my goodness gracious. Look at that. Okay. So Annie, Addie, are either of you down there? I hear one of you. Come here. Zilla Monster, come here. Come here, precious girl. Come here, Zilla. I call her Adzilla, the monster. Come on. Come here. Come here. They want to see what you look like. Can you show them your pretty face? Come on. Good girl. Okay, can you come up here and look? Can you look in here and show them your pretty face? Okay. Look right there for Daddy. Look right there. Can you look? Look right there. Look right there. Tell them hi. Tell people hi. Okay, there you go. So that's Addie. She's the biggest of the three. She's also the most vocal. She is my attack chihuahua. Okay. So the Lord bless you and keep you, and the Lord let his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord look upon you kindly and grant you peace. So remember, tomorrow is Ash Wednesday. We begin the period of Lent tomorrow. And I would encourage you to investigate Psalms 115 to 118. That's the Jewish prayer, the Hallel, which a lot of people believe that would historically be the Psalms that Jesus would have been singing as he walked towards Gethsemane. And it mentions in Matthew that he does sing as he's going to Gethsemane. But anyhow, so with that, I see some fantastic comments about bicycles and making my magazines with rubber bands in caliber sizes. Yes. And I also have the buttstock. It goes over the buttstock and then you can put shells in it, but I only have that for my shotguns. I don't have it for my rifles. Okay. So remember, thank you all so much for being here tonight. And thank you for adding so much to the comments. I learned from you probably as much as you learned from the books or from my comments. So thank you all so much for being here and for sharing your great, vast knowledge and experience. I really, really appreciate it. So remember that we're all in this together so we can come out the other side together. Please be kind, polite, and respectful to each other because togetherness is the key. Take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye.